the rush potential of Spider-Man 2. The first thing I want to go over is like Venom's like rise, or like just Venom's story arc. Just to be frank, Venom is like the centerpiece of Spider-Man 2. That's what they advertised. It's like the biggest character arc, and it's like the emotional like centerpiece of the entire story. But it seems shorter than the Kraven arc, which is bad because I mean the Kraven like story was good, but it was advertised as Venom, so it should have just been more focused on Venom, kind of, I'd say. And another big aspect of this game is the symbiote like suit itself. It's like maybe like the second biggest thing, and like it's genuinely a big part of the story. It's like the tone shifting from Harry's suit, like this thing is helping me, to this thing is evil, and like that also is like applicable in Peter's situation as well, because it's more, the tone really doesn't feel like it changes that much. Like they don't really elaborate on like how it really is evil, or on like why Peter really needs to keep the suit like itself. Something they could actually should have done is to just let the symbiote arc just breathe a little bit. They just had like smaller missions on like how like Peter's really depending on the suit, rather than just like having it go, I need the suit because it makes me a better Spider-Man. We could at least let like the story focus on how it makes like Peter a better Spider-Man in the first place. Another thing that I quickly want to mention is in the final boss fight when you fight Venom, it's a little weird on how like Miles also fights Venom. I'm not saying that Miles shouldn't fight Venom in the first place, but it's crazy how there were like two stages where Peter just wasn't in the fight, when really Miles and Harry really didn't even interact like narratively in the story at all, which is a little weird. I feel like they could have focused on like Peter slightly more, or just rather have the two fight together with Venom, like the promotional images where Peter and Miles are fighting Venom in the city. They could have done that, or just elaborate on like why Miles like fights Venom in the first place. The next thing I want to talk about is like Peter getting nerfed. Really, the Peter situation doesn't really make sense. In like the scene where MJ becomes Scream, MJ reacts faster than Peter to a symbiote like blast coming from Harry, which is very unrealistic. Peter has spider sense, and MJ is a normal human. It doesn't really make sense to me on how MJ reacted and moved faster than Peter. And in that specific scene, you can actually see Peter, he didn't react at all before MJ moved in front of him, which is very like unrealistic. Also, people like to mention like the fridge scene, which I completely agree with. I don't know why Peter got knocked out too easily by the fridge. I know it was like supposed to be like a narrative way, and what I was talking about earlier, the MJ thing, they could have had MJ become Scream in like a very different way, and it could have tied in much better to the story than what happened with MJ just being hit with like Harry's Venom blast. The scene where Peter gets the symbiote is also kind of feels rushed, because a simple knife taking out Spider-Man, we've seen stuff take out Spider-Man, like in the first game where Peter literally gets stabbed in the back with a massive stinger from Scorpion, and then he was fighting like the entire Sinister Six, and now he's getting knocked out by a strong human with a knife. Now, I'm not saying that like Kraven is weak or anything, or like his knifing skills is like necessarily bad, but I feel like there could have been just better things than a knife. Even if we just keep the knife, it looks like a regular knife. It could have been poisoned. It could have been like at least enhanced somehow, maybe like heated up so that I could do more damage, or like some new metal that like poisons Peter's regenerative or like durability. But just a regular knife about to kill Peter is I feel like that wouldn't, I feel like the knife really just doesn't tie in with Peter getting the symbiote. So something else I want to talk about is like the aftermath of Peter wearing the black suit. Once Peter gets freed from the symbiote, like the aftermath of having the symbiote just isn't there. He just kind of bounces back from like being rageful to like apologizing to Miles a little too easily. It's just such a broad like change that it's really noticeable from how he acts. Also, there's not really any consequences. Like nobody actually really holds him accountable. Like MJ really doesn't, or Miles. We don't even like kind of see Peter like under the suit's influence. And the one time at night where Peter was like really like going at it was when he was actually asleep. So it was really just the symbiote, not actually Peter being aggressive. You could also argue the scene where Peter fights Kraven, but that's just because Kraven angered Peter by capturing and hurting Miles. So it really doesn't, like, the argument just really isn't. This video has had a lot of negatives, but something I feel Insomniac did very well was Miles' arc with Mr. Negative / like Lee. So I appreciate that Insomniac didn't just make it a forgiveness story where I'm sorry and then like I forgive you. Rather, Miles says I don't forgive you, but he's willing to work with Mr. Negative. Something I don't like about that scene, however, is just Lee walking away into the sunset like nothing really happened. I feel like they could have added on some more details with that, but really, that's just a tiny little nitpick, but I think they still could have worked on that, however. Another thing that I actually liked about the game that I didn't think I'd actually like was Harry. I really thought Harry would just be a mediocre character, or a character that I didn't even like in the first place. But the way Harry is just such good friends with Peter is just such a cool, it's just really cool to see. Something where like Harry's friendship pops out is when the Emily May like foundation is actually being destroyed. I know like some people didn't like how Harry just reacted so nonchalantly when like his entire life's work, well, not entire life's work, his like life after the comas was just like completely like destroyed. But something you can note from that is Harry actually saying like he's urging Peter on to like beat the bad guys up, which is like very cool to see. It just ties into how much like Peter and Harry are just such good friends. Overall, I feel like the story and the plot and the gameplay was very fun for Spider-Man 2. There are definitely some plot aspects and gameplay aspects that could have been worked over. Things that I didn't talk about maybe were like the combat system, swinging, movement. But other than that, I'm not saying Spider-Man 2 is a bad game, but there are definitely things that could be worked on and could be definitely fixed easily in Spider-Man 3, at least in my opinion. And let me know if you want to see more like discussion / commentary videos, but I don't know.